As a VC, I've always wondered, as a VC, what's something that you regret doing or not doing? Maybe an investment you passed on.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's a touchy. You don't. That's first of all, you never ask a VC that question because they all have some horrible story that haunts them.
It fuels us as studios, you know.
I mean, I tell this story very openly. I was managing Garage at the time, and I was spending a lot of time in Silicon Valley at the time. I was single, and so I was dating, and I was dating this, or at least I was out for dinner that night with this very beautiful woman. And I sort of knew how I wanted that evening to go. And we finished dinner, and a friend of hers walks into the restaurant as we're finishing dinner, and she invites him to sit at our table. I'm going, oh God, this is third wheel. This is definitely not the ideal scenario. Let's put it that way. And worst of all, she tells him I'm a VC, and he starts pitching me his company. And I'm checked out. Like at that point, I've definitely completely checked out. I'm not paying attention. I tell him to keep his day job. This is a dumb idea, And to his credit, by the way, never threw me under the bus. Although some of those guys have talked about how the first half dozen VCs that they pitched told them this idea was worthless. But I famously passed on this company, which the guy who walked into the restaurant was a guy named Joe Gebbia, who was one of the three co-founders of a company at the time which was called airbedandbreakfast.com, not even Airbnb.com. And I kept that business card as a reminder of my own stupidity, as a reminder that, you're not going to be right all the time. Even the profit's not right 100% of the time, as difficult as that is to admit. And so I famously passed on that seed round, could lose a lot of sleep over the billions that cost me. But I think any investor who does this long enough, any VC who does this long enough, has passed on some great opportunities. Because the reality is, and this is maybe something founders don't appreciate, VCs are humans. And you see 1,000 pitches in a year. And on any given day, there's the context of that day, right? Maybe that morning, that VC had a fight with his wife. And so the pitches he sees that day, he's not thinking about, right? He's more worried about his situation at home, how he's going to make it up to his wife, whatever, right? He's grumpy, he's not in a good mood. And so...
Or on a date.
Thank you. But it's this case where it's not an exact science, right? And while you may think you have the greatest idea in the world, the greatest company in the world, the greatest game in the world, whatever it is, raising money is a volume game because of the human element involved. You have to talk to 100 VCs. You need to evangelize and sell to as many people as will listen, in the hopes that you catch the right person on the right day, with the right approach, with the right pitch, right? There's a lot that has to go right to get dollars in the bank. And that's part of what makes that process interesting, I think, right? It's a fascinating kind of process that I think a lot of founders hate. And, even me to this day hates the idea of raising money, right? Like it's probably one of the worst parts of any job, whether you're a VC raising your next fund or a founder raising capital for your business. It's never fun asking other people for money.
Yeah, never easy.
But if you approach it very pragmatically and with this understanding that there is still human fallibility in this, right? Like that the humans will still make bad decisions, and that shouldn't deter you from your own vision and your own convictions, that I think you can handle it a lot easier.
You reminded me of something you always tell me, that 80% of what you do will most probably fail.
Yes.
So I like that.
Fortunately, people only remember the 20% that succeeds, though. That's the greatest part about entrepreneurship. In fact, that the big successes in your career is basically all people will remember.